Have you ever seen anything on YouTube or Pinterest or Facebook Live and you wondered if it worked? Well, that's what this video is all about. Hi, my name is Rebecca and welcome to my channel. I had seen several videos where people had crafted wreaths out of pool noodles and I wondered if it really would work and if it really would hold up under the weather, and so I set out to see, and so come craft with me. I grabbed this pool noodle at the Dollar Tree in the summer section, and then I grabbed this packing tape at the Dollar Tree as well. And I formed it in the shape that I wanted and strapped it together. And I actually just wrapped this deco mesh that I had in my stash around it. I did not hot glue it. I just wrapped it around, and then I had this ribbon just laying around that I'd used on another project, and I just wrapped this around the deco mesh just to give it a little zhuzhing, and this is the only hot glue that I have on this project. I just glued the two little ends together. If you did not want to use hot glue at all, you could really just take florist wire or some twine and band this together. I had picked up these beautiful flowers at the Dollar Tree, and I thought that the colors would be really good to transition in the month of August from summer to fall, with the beautiful sunflowers and the blues and the butterflies and the white hydrangeas. And I just clipped them with my shears. I'm sorry, my voice is just bananas. And then I poked them down into the pool noodle, and they arranged really nicely and stuck very well into the top layer of the pool noodle. And I just clipped them with my little tin snips and just started arranging them in whatever pattern that I liked. I actually thought that these flowers were fabulous together because the hydrangeas are still in bloom, the sunflowers are coming out, they're beautiful whites and yellows with some reds and the butterflies, and it's kind of all of the beautiful colors of summer but transitioning into fall. And I thought it was kind of a way to, kind of say hello to fall without just being, in your face. Yes, it's August still. It is not quite fall yet, but I thought it was absolutely beautiful all together. And I just poked this down in the pool noodle, and I was really pleased with how the pool noodle actually worked. And you did not need foam or anything because the pool noodle hack actually is quite fabulous. I tied my bow on with some florist wire, and then I just stuck a little American flag. I did kind of an Americana theme on this, and I hung this on my back door, and it kind of is a little bit ready for Labor Day, and which is kind of a little patriotic. I mean, America was built on the backs of the laborers, and so it's kind of Americana. Hello summer, or hello fall, goodbye summer kind of a piece, and it is a pool noodle hack that I will use in the future. I was really pleased with how this all turned out. So here's the deal. We have had some crazy weather here in Southwest Missouri, and we had some 60 to 80 mile an hour winds in our last storm. And then we also have had some blasting heat, 105 degrees with a real feel of 109, 111, crazy weather. And this pool noodle, since it doesn't have hot glue or anything, it has not melted. It has maintained its integrity and its shape. Nothing has popped loose, and it stayed intact, and it has gripped really nicely. So I've been really pleased with this little pool noodle hack, and I will definitely be using it again. Speaking of strong winds, I live in Joplin, Missouri, and we had the EFI tornado go through in 2011. Even with that tornadoes, we get strong winds, we get crazy weather. And I have spent so much money over the years just on patio furniture, most important, umbrellas. Umbrella stands. I have invested a lot of money in umbrella stands that absolutely did not work. So I was speaking with my sister. She had seen something on Pinterest and she said, I made this, you need to try it. So I did. And I have been very pleasantly surprised in how it worked. So let me show you what I did. I picked up this planter at Walmart on the clearance rack for $11. It's a 22-inch planter. I had this PVC pipe laying in the garage and we cut a 30-inch section on this pipe using the miter box. I picked up this Quikrete at Lowe's for $5.78 and we mixed it according to the directions on the package. I bought 2 bags, but I only used 1 bag. I used the other bag for another project. And then I held the pipe in the center and my husband spooned it in. I picked up this Earth Essentials bag for $5.28 at Lowe's. It's just rock, and we put this on top after it's set, and then I put this under my table and it has held my umbrella. We'd started on this late afternoon and so it got dark on me, and so these are the best videos that I could get. But anyway, I was just trying to beat the heat because it was just boisterous hot. And this is my sister's planter. She had done the same thing, only she chose to put flowers in hers. She is an avid gardener and she puts a lot of time and effort into her landscaping, and this is her addition to her patio. These are an absolute gorgeous addition. So my umbrella stand is not fancy. It is under a table. It is strictly for, I just want something to sit at. I want my little hillbilly garden, and my sister is a true garden gal. She is an Anthomaniac. She is an amazing, and this is her hobby and this is her craft. From the time she gets off from work till dark, she is in her yard. I just want the lawn service to come and mow and weed eat. That is basically where I'm at this stage in my life. But you can do this so many ways, and as soon as I put this up the next night, we had a crazy storm blow through, 60 to 80 mile an hour winds, and I did not have to chase my umbrella around. It stayed put and it has been solid as a rock. So I've been really pleased with this little hack, and I am looking forward to a lot of time at my patio. A lot of tutorials that I read were very complicated, but all you really need to do is unplug the drain holes and put the concrete in, and then the water will seep down through the sides of the pot and it will drain. We had a lot of rain with the storm that did blow in, and it did not hold water, and a lot of the complicated things that they say to do on these tutorials are not necessary. This thing is sturdy, and if beauty is what you're going for, a little extra planter, then that will work too. And so you have something that is very solid and very wind sturdy, and something that can be a great addition to your patio that is cost effective and will serve its purpose quite beautifully. About 3 years ago, I was in the grocery store buying laundry soap, and the price just got me. It was just so exorbitant, and my husband said, you know, you used to make your own laundry soap. Why don't you start doing that again? And he was correct. I had done it for several years, and then I just got busy and life got in the way, and I just fell out of the habit, and it just became easier to buy it. And so I just decided right then and there I was going to start doing it again. I picked up all of the things that I needed, and so here is what the prices are now for the things that I use. I use the Arm & Hammer washing powder. It's $4.76, and these are at the Walmart. and the borax is $5.97. The Zote soap is $1.62, and I use the Arm & Hammer Odor Blaster crystals, and they are $5.48. And that's what the prices are at this particular time. And I only buy these products once a year. Except for the odor blasters, I buy that about every 2 years because I don't use very much. It's just like 1/8 of a cup. And so I only buy that a couple of years. These are the products that I use to make my laundry soap. And I put about 8 cups of water in a pot on the stove, and I bring that to a boil. I use about a half a bar of the Zote soap, and I cut that up into chunks, and then I just stir it and let it dissolve, and then I just kind of cut it up with the spoon as it starts to melt, and I just let it simmer and let it melt into the water. And I just don't try to rush the process. I just let it sit on the stove and melt. I use 1/4 of a cup of the Arm & Hammer washing powder, and then 1/4 of a cup of the borax, and I pour it each into each container. I have about 6 old containers of the laundry soap that I use. Once my soap is dissolved on the stove, then I use about 1.5 cups of each, and I pour it evenly distribute into each of my containers, and then I fill it up with the hot water. I use about 1/8 of a cup of the odor blasters in each container, and then I shake it well. You can make this a couple of different ways. The liquid just works out very well for my family, and it is highly concentrated, so when the soap bubbles fill up, there is a little bit left, and so when the washer's filling up, I actually just put a little bit of water in there, put the cap back on, shake it up really good, and then I fill my cap about half full of the laundry soap. And that is my laundry soap hack that I actually use, and I've been using it about 3 years now. What I actually spend on laundry soap is $15 a year. I had seen several different creators make picture frames out of foam board, and I was curious to try it because I didn't know if it would work, and I didn't know if it would be sturdy or if it would look cheesy or cheap. So I thought I would give it a whirl and see what I could try. So I just measured my pieces out from a piece of foam board that I had already been crafting with. Waste not, want not. I don't throw anything away. I'm a crafting hoarder. What can I say? And so I just cut it out with my craft knife after I measured my pieces out and scored it really good. And I measured it up against what I was going to frame. And then I had these little pieces of wood that I bought at the Dollar Tree, and I have found they come in handy for measuring very well. I actually just keep them around because they work really well for measuring, and they're kind of better than a ruler sometimes. And then I took my Waverly chalk paint in the color Pool, and I gave it a really good coat of paint with this Pool with a sponge brush, and I just went over it really good, made sure I paid attention to the edges, and just gave it a really good. I love this color. It matched my project, and I thought it just looked really good for everyday decor. And I also am in love with this Ready board. I use it for so many things, and you can buy it at the Dollar Tree. Why pay more for something at another store when you can pay $1.25 for something that is going to work quite beautifully? I am not in the I just don't like to spend a lot of money for something that will work really good and have a good purpose, and pay $2 for something that I can get for $1.25. That's just, I don't know, call me thrifty. I didn't have to put more than one coat of paint on this foam board. It covered beautifully with just one coat, and it was the most time-consuming part of this project was just painting it. which I don't mind to do. I love painting. It's kind of relaxing and it kind of clears my mind, and I can just think about other things or listen to the TV or the radio or something, and I just enjoy kind of giving everything just a little good coat of paint. This is the most time consuming part of this project, really, and it actually worked out really well. I thought the foam board would kind of warp and bend. It did just a little bit, but once it came together, you're not even going to notice that. I did some dry brushing with my sponge with some Waverly chalk paint and elephant, and then what I decided to frame was actually a placemat that I had picked up at the Dollar Tree. I thought it was a really pretty placemat, and it looked very high-end, very not Dollar Tree placemat decor. And I love the truck, and the flowers were just, and I love the saying, and I thought it was just really pretty. And I'm not a fan of plastic type placemats, but they work very well for this kind of a project. So I hot glued my ends together, and I just made sure that they were nice and straight, and everything was glued very well together, and I held it until the hot glue was really nice and tight and secure, and then I kind of measured where I wanted it to go, and then I just put some hot glue all around the outside edge of this placemat, and then I just laid my frame over the top of it. And I did take that board, that little piece of wood from the Dollar Tree, and I kind of held it on there to make sure it was good and tight. This is where all of the slight bowing that the paint did with the foam board straightened out perfectly. I decided that it needed a little bit of embellishment. It looked perfectly fine the way it is. I just decided to zhuzh it up a little bit, so I took some gingham ribbon that I picked up at the Dollar Tree that I had laying around, some black and white, and then I put some blue and white ribbon that I also got at the Dollar Tree, and I thought the colors coordinated very well. And then I just tied that off with some twine that I keep around that I get at the Dollar Tree, and I just tied that off really nice and tight. And once I had that really good and tight and I cut my twine off, I thought maybe I would make just a little bit of a twine bow. So I wrapped that around my fingers several times, tied that off in the center. I love these little twine bows. I think that they just add just a little bit of rustic to a project, and they just kind of make the center of the regular bows look kind of cute, and I just like them all stacked up together. Once I had my bow loops fluffed and had everything laying exactly the way I thought and decided where I wanted to place it, I put a little dab of hot glue and I just tied it all together. I had picked this sign up on the clearance rack at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. It was a bonus item that had normally been priced at $3, and I used the greenery off of the wreath of that, and so I just clipped it off, and I decided to tuck that in on the underneath side of my bow to give it just a little bit of a finished detail. I kind of like the eucalyptus. I thought it was really pretty, and it just added a little finishing touch to this and just made it look a little bit more high-end. I really absolutely loved this project, and I was pleasantly surprised at how well it turned out, and it is very cost effective to make, and it does not look like foam board at all, or a placemat for that matter. I turned it around and I put some twine and hot glued some twine on the back to make sure it had a hanger, and I held that into place, and then I put a little bit of masking tape just for a little added security on each end, so it's not going to be heavy, so it will hang really nice with just a little piece of twine and some masking tape. And I actually had taken this to work. It hangs in one of my friend's offices, and it does not look like foam board. It turned out really nice. It's a nice foam board hack that I would suggest anybody needed to try. I know this video has been different than all my other videos, but I like to try new things, and I also like to save money. If you've seen something on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok and you've been hesitant to try it because you're not sure it'll work, go ahead and try it. What's the worst that could happen, right? I don't know. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell so that you know when I've uploaded my next video. Give me a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching Crafts, Laughs, and Chaos.